What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL Season 2, Week 1 of the Heindler Division. If you didn't watch yesterday's video already, go watch it. It's 5 best of 3s of the Rundal Division. We got the exact same thing here today. 5 new best of 3s that should be really exciting. Again, our league has expanded this year, so we have 20 different teams. So there's going to be 2 videos per week. Each video is going to be of a different division. We will flip-flop as to which division gets to be put out on the internet first each week. But for this week, Rundal was first, and then Heindler is today. So it should be really exciting. Like I said, 5 best of 3s to get into. I don't want to wait any longer. First of all, let's just look at the teams. We have 10 different teams in this division. Just to break them down real quick, we have MacRain coaching the Materia Hunters, Dr. Dickhead with the Foolish Mortals, Xathria and the Ghostbloods, Maverick and the Spaghetti Western, Ram9 with the Rock Boys, Turambar with the Fire Ferrets, JEBAW and the Sappers, Catrah with Sandrock, JesusLBL with the Strawhats, and of course Spike and Bebop's crew. Let's get into these matches, take a look at the previews, and see what we're getting into. Right out of the gate, matchup number 1, we've got a prime matchup here. Turambar and the Fire Ferrets, our second place finisher of the season 1 as a whole. He was the best record in the regular season last season. The only team he lost to in the regular season, the team on the right here, the Strawhats, coached by JesusLBL. So this should be an absolutely fantastic matchup. Very excited about it. First of all, looking at the Fire Ferrets team, he's got Lightning, very strong, along with Orlando. Could easily pair that up with Titus as a tank. Aerith is a great support. Jaden and Engelbert, Jaden and Sakura, either of those pairings work very well with something like Slime. Honestly, Turambar just did an amazing job drafting this team. He has so many options. I'm not even going to speculate what he's going to throw out this week because he just has too many good opportunities here. On the other side of things, JesusLBL with the Straw Hats went with a really unique strategy of taking Mia in the first round. This is a unit that did not get drafted in our Rundal division. However, he did some smart stuff with it. He took Mia and he said, hey, I'm going to grab some of the strongest 100 cost units in the game. He's got Starlight Elena, he's got Sodali, he's got Black Rose Helena. He can throw any 2 of those 3 units along with Mia, and oh, by the way, he also got Locke, so he has Elena, Locke, Mia as a combo. He's got some really nice options, and also he has a couple of strong 70 cost units with Yuna and Raychez. This should be really great. I'm hoping for a 3-game series rather. Spoiler alert, if you didn't watch the Rundal video, I'm going to say a couple things, so go watch it if you haven't yet. Okay, there were no 3-game series yesterday, which is really frustrating. I'm praying for 3 games here. I really hope we get them. But let's go into match number 1 and see what we got. Matchup number 1 of the Heindler division. We've got Engelbert in slot 1 for the left side here with Turambar, and Starlight Elena for Jesus. No surprises here, to be honest. Curious to see who he runs with the Engelbert. So it's Elshra. That's actually kind of surprising to me, I will say. Running Halloween Lucia, Elshra, and Engelbert. Turambar is a very good player, though, so not surprised if he's going to throw some really creative stuff at us today. But on Jesus' side, he doesn't go Elena Locke, he goes Elena Sodali. Curious to see if Sodali can get any big charms off in the fight. But at this moment, Halloween Lucia gets her trademark buff off with that 7,500 physical HP. One thing I will say is that's not going to do anything except for against Mia. Sodali and Elena will eat right through that. On Turambar's side, he's got the haste off on Engelbert, has the hate up, has courage. He's getting ready to go, and Engelbert's going to start walking forward. Sodali's going to go Divine Sacrament. Very nice AoE buff, and he is going to hit like a truck with that spirit penetration that he has. Halloween Lucia is going to have re-raise, so both a courage and a re-raise already online for Turambar's side. Should be a haste onto Halloween Lucia, I believe, unless he's quickening Engelbert. But I'd be a little bit surprised about that, to be honest. Heart of Flutter. I like this. This is Sweetheart Ildira TMR. Gets that move and jump up and unit resist. This is a really great TMR for tanks, especially ones like Engelbert who don't have a lot of movement that you want to move across the map. But here we go. Limit Break by Starlight Elena. Prismatic Punishment. How much damage is it going to do? Basically nothing. Engelbert's a beast to slash attack, so he eats that up like Reese's Puffs. And here we go with Sodali. What is he going to channel? Rush Not Thy Fate, 6,700 damage. So he does a little more damage than Starlight Elena does here. Mia's going to go with the Steel Heart. Curious if Turambar is running Charm Resist or if that just missed. It would not surprise me at all if Turambar built up runes that have Charm Resist on him. Toad's Curse 9109. So Starlight Elena only going to hang on because she has that courage. Earthrending Pain, not as much as I thought it would be. Sottily has a lot more penetration than Elena does, so I guess it shouldn't be too surprising that he did a lot more than she did. And is Elstra gonna... I don't remember if Elstra has heals, but she does have haste, so she's trying to speed up the team as best she can. But Jesus, I think, is looking like they're in a pretty good spot, unless Halloween Lucia can stack a 3-man AoE. She does have re-raise. What can she do here? Can she hit all 3 with something big? No, she's just going to go for Unhappy Ending. Takes out the Elena, but Elena has re-raise. She has courage, she has re-raise, she has 3 lives. She is 1/3 of a cat out here, and Sottily is going to go Rush Not Thy Fate, hit both of them. Halloween Lucia is going to go down. Elshra is barely hanging on. I assume Elena's going to take him out. And the second place team from last season, Turambar, gets 3-0'd in match 1. A very strong start from Jesus. I do expect Turambar to switch things up in some sort of fashion, but I'd be curious to see what he does here. Does Jesus just have his number? Jesus 2-0'd him last season. Can he 2-0 him again? Let's go and find out. All right, match number 2, and we are definitely seeing a change coming out from Turambar. His first overall pick in this draft was Slime, and for those of you guys that don't know, we use varied costs, so the cost on all these units is not the exact same as they are in-game. Slime is actually treated as 50 cost, and even being 50, Turambar said, you know what, Slime is busted. I will take him as my first overall pick at 50 cost. JesusLBL going, it looks like full evasion here, going Elena and Locke with the Mia. Probably expected Turambar to change his comp up a little bit. So interesting to see that he goes away from the Sottily, because Sottily did a lot of damage. But again, probably expected him not to run Engelbert. So maybe a good adjustment here by Jesus. Turambar on this side, though, getting a lot of really nice buffs up. Elemental resist, got the magic barrier from Aerith, has AoE resist from Halloween Lucia. They don't have a tank, but I would not be surprised if they tank up some of this damage pretty well. Turambar is very, very good at mitigating damage as a comp without a tank. He did that all season, last season without a tank, and yeah, my god. The one thing about Slime is that his slash resistance is insane. His other resistances suck, but that slash resist can easily be like nullify damage unless you have penetration. But Toad's Curse, oh my god. I just realized it did so much damage, it turned him into a toad, and then he revived and came back as a toad. I didn't even know that mechanic worked that way. You can die and come back as a toad. You get rid of like all other status effects, but apparently toads come back to life. And Locke is currently a little frog. And now he is a really slow frog. And I'm so sorry, Locke. I hope you get to do something in this fight. Elena's going to go for a big old limit break. Remember, there is the magic barrier on the team right now, though, from Aerith. How much is this going to mitigate the damage along with those other buffs? That's really good. That's really good. I mean, Aerith didn't even take half her health. Slime didn't take a ton. Halloween Lucia is sitting at 3/4 health, and she has the elemental disadvantage to that damage. And Holy Prayer is just going to go up, Spirit up, they're full health again. Turambar's looking much, much better than he did round 1. Again, Steelheart misses. Does Turambar have charm resistance? Or is he just getting lucky? I'm going to guess that he has some sort of charm resistance. Earthrending Pain goes out. Hustle Dance +1. This team just has so much sustain. He has 2 healers. And Halloween Lucia, the sole carry on this team, Arcane Assimilation. We're getting a lot of really nice limit breaks already today, which is pretty sweet. 39. I will say, Mia tanked that pretty well. Mia didn't even get one shot by Halloween Lucia. Can we give a shout out to our 20 cost Mia? All right, Starlight Elena. They don't have the barrier anymore, I don't think. But she does have the physical barrier, and ironic, the only physical attack she has, her standard regular attack, gets blocked. So that will do nothing except for give her a little more AP. And Slime goes with the zap. The lightning elemental Slime gets his first kill of the season. Unhappy Ending is going to go out 11k damage. Arcane Shot's going to go through the courage. Does she have re-raise? She does not. And Jesus does not get a 2-0 this season. As much as he clapped Turambar round 1, Turambar throws it right back at him with a 3-0 in his favor. And we finally get a 3-game series this week. Rundall had 5 2-0s, and Heindler off to a good start. The first series is already 3 games. I can't wait to get into match 3. And let's go take a look at it. So match number 3, Jesus still hovering the Starlight Elena. So I'm curious, does he go back to the Sottily? Because the Sottily worked really well in round 1, but obviously it was against a different comp for Turambar. Turambar's bringing the exact same thing, and Jesus is bringing his match 1 team. So these are the 2 teams that have won up to this point. Immortal Dogma, Re-Raise, and Hate Up on Elena. This is actually... I didn't think about how good this combo would be, but that's actually so nasty. In one turn, you can basically have Elena be an evasion tank with both Re-Raise and Courage, and then your 3rd unit can do some sort of buff. And speaking of really, really strong, this turn rotation that Turambar has, these 3 buffs, just make his team so damn tanky. And honestly, I really love these early turns from both teams here. Aurora of Blessings, another really nice tech, like I said from last time, getting the elemental resist against the light of Elena. I really don't think Elena is going to do that much. She'll be a little harder to kill, because she does have Courage and Re-Raise. But I think Sottily is the big one of doing damage here. So what's Aerith going to cast? I imagine she probably goes Time Mage at this point. Halloween Lucia going to get her Re-Raise on. And Mia goes Resist Magic. I kind of forget she has a Spellblade sub, which is kind of cool. I wonder if she has Taunting Spell. Not that Mia's ever going to be tanky enough to be a tank, but you might be able to, like, steal some hate during the middle of a fight. All right, can Elena get in range to do something here? Not quite. She has no buffs left to do. Aerith, is she going to go for another haste, or what is she going for? Toad's Curse? 30... Oh my god. There are toads everywhere. What I will say, I don't know if Turambar is way luckier than Jesus, or if Turambar happened to build Charm Resist and Jesus didn't build Toad Resist. That would be my question. I don't know the answer to that question. But Toad Lena is going to walk up, bop Halloween Lucia with her little frog nose. What is Sottily going to do here? 44-30 on a crit. That is not crazy. And they heal back up. Slime heals back up. Pops the Courage on Toad Lena. And what is Aerith going to do? She doesn't really need to heal. Everybody's already, like, pretty healthy. Zap does very, very little damage, but there's not really anything better for Slime to do right now. Ray of the Ancients comes out. This Mia is tanky. Not that Aerith is known for her damage, but she is not taking a lot. Unhappy ending for Toad Lena, but Toad Lena is going to come back from the grave. And that is the last time that I will say Toad Lena on this video. Mia's going to go for the surprise attack. 2,700 damage. Crits for 185. I do love the little noises the toads make. Indoctrination comes out, though. Sottily says, hey, I don't give a shit about this frog. I'm going to come up and do a bunch of damage myself. Please don't turn into a frog. Never mind, he turns into dead. It is a 2v2 at this point, but it is a 20 cost Mia and a frog versus Halloween Lucia, one of the strongest units in the game. I think I know where I would go. And it'd probably be Turambar's side at this point. But Starlight Elena does come back to her normal self. However, Slime, so broken, man. Just revived Aerith. And now both supports are back on the table. Aerith's going to go next. Probably heal her team to full. Man, this team looks frustrating as hell to play against. Especially if you don't have Toad Resist. And this looks like a very close matchup for a little bit of time. Even with the Toad, but... it doesn't seem like it's going to end that way. This looks like another clean 3-0 for Turambar. Will Aerith try and finish her off? Nope, Halloween Lucia is going to do it. Toad's Curse for the kill. GG to both Turambar and Jesus. That was a great series. So weird, though. It was a 3-0 in Jesus' favor and then 2 3-0s in a row on Turambar's favor. To be fair, Turambar re-raised people back up after they already died. It wasn't like a clean 3-0, but... man, congrats to Turambar. He was a fantastic player all of last season. His team looks so strong. I will say, Jesus, his team is pretty damn legit too. I expect him to get a lot of wins this season as well. But a fantastic series. We've got 4 more for you guys today, and let's get into the next one. All right, guys, for our second matchup of the day, we've got Catrah with Sandrock and Spike with Bebop's crew going up against each other. Catrah making his first appearance in the WDL. Like I said in the Rundle division, I'm so excited to have a bunch of new players. We've got 10 returning players and 10 new players, 5 of each in each division. So it should be really exciting to see who does better. The returning players, the new players, we'll see what happens. But Spike on the right side, a member of my guild, the Thunder Gods, he's a very, very good player. He really loves his Earth comps. Would not be shocked to see Luell or something like that come out today, just because Luell was literally his MVP last season. He put in a ton of work with her. Also with Celeste, would not be shocked to see her either. And I'm really, really happy that he got Oberon, one of his favorite units. I'm just excited to see what he does this season. I think he's got a really interesting team. I think he will make that team work very well. He's just a very, very strong Earth player. On the left side here for Catrah, would love to see some Sorrow Setia action. I just think those two fire units could put out a lot of damage. Sorrow does an insane amount of damage sometimes. It surprises me. Esther's a beast. I like the Moraga pick, a unit that I have on my own team, and I think he's very, very strong for 70 cost. I like a lot of the lower tiers with Curry being able to bring Frostbite, Gafgarian bringing a lot of damage, and even Sosha at 40 cost can put out a good amount of damage if she's allowed to hit. So should be some interesting matchups today, and let's go ahead and get into the series. All right, guys, matchup number 1 between Catrah and Spike. I do apologize if this video looks kind of grainy or a little blurry. I'm not sure if the whole thing will be like this. But when I opened it at first, it looks kind of fuzzy, so I apologize for that. Hopefully it does clear up a little bit. But on the left side, we've got Catrah sporting Setia, Sorrow, and Sosha. And on the right side, it looks like we've got Oberon, Luell, and Mish. So the agility and evasion buff up coming up from Catrah on the left side here, as he does reduce his volume just a little bit. All right, and Oberon's going to go for his AoE buff. Area attack resistance is really, really good, and it gives himself pierce attack up, I believe. And this is a really nice AoE buff from Luell, too. Unit attack resist and earth attack benefits both her and Oberon. I'm excited to see what Mish is going to do here. Will he be a toad machine? Will we see more toads? We already saw enough toads in Series 1. I hope we don't see more toads. I lied. I hope we see more toads. I won't make any more toad Lena puns. I can't promise that. I might do that. What is Setia going to do here? She's got bells online. She's going to pop the limit break. Flight of the Firebird. Who is this going into? Absolutely disgustingly sick animation. Not disgustingly sick damage. I will say that did nowhere near as much as I expected. It did just over half to Mish and not a ton to Luell. Sharpshoot comes out from Sosha, 894, and this Mish is tanking up damage like a madman. Law of Geoabsorption comes out from Luell. Holy crap, I told you guys in the matchup preview, Luell is an absolute monster, and she puts in work there. Purple Dragon's Aegis. So Oberon now has his shield online. This is not looking good for Catrah. The only thing I will say is Sorrow is a beast. I've seen that dude put in some absolute work. No Toad. He goes for the Toad. He didn't get it. Toad Occluder comes out from Mish, but he doesn't land it. So Oberon is going to go for his jump. I believe this is a targeted spell. The reflex coming up from Mish didn't look like Spike needed any help with this. Mish is just surviving. This is like 3 attacks that he's basically lived through at this point. Luell takes out her book. He says, I'm going to learn you something. And what is she teaching them? How to die. She taught Sasha how to die. Sorrow is low on health. This is looking really, really rough for Catrah. This should miss. Yeah, this missed because this target was on Sasha. Now, Sorrow, what can you do, though, in 1v3? Crimson Cuts, that is a lot of damage. And I think Sorrow has courage. This is not over. He is hasted and he has courage. Oberon does have the guaranteed hit. He has a lot of AP. This needs to one-shot. If he one-shots, he can win this game. 46-39 is not going to be enough. Who goes next? It's Oberon. I believe he should be able to Thunder Smite again. Yes, he can. The guaranteed hit. Honestly, as one-sided as that looked for a lot of it, that ended up being very, very close. Legitimately, like, Sorrow needed one more attack, and that was it. And for the fact that Setia didn't do a ton of damage and died very early in that fight, I'd be curious to see if Catrah in match 2 brings the same comp and just, like, shifts positioning a little bit. That could be enough to take the win. Or does he decide to go with something completely different? Let's go and find out and watch match 2. Okay, guys, matchup number 2 between these two teams. Looking like the exact same teams to me. Those stats, I believe, look the same as they were last time. So my thought is they probably are just changing the positions. But we'll have to take a look. I would say last fight, Luel and Saro both put on a show. They both did a ton of damage. Obviously, Oberon was the last man standing, however. Does that change in match 2? Do we get another 3-game series right out of the gate? Gosh, I hope so. Evasion skills come out. Agility and evasion up for both Saro and Sosha. Oberon's going to go to his party, say Purple Dragon's Providence, get those AoE buffs. And I said Pierce attack up. That is wrong. It is defense piercing rate up. I apologize. But Setia's going to pop bells. Crucially, however, she is off to the left. Last time, she ran right up in the middle and just got popped immediately. She might be more safe this time. Could that make the difference? Dragon's Might comes out from Sasha. I really like this upgraded ability of the Dragoon sub-job. It now gives Protect. Might not matter against this Toad. Toad doesn't land. I got my hopes up. Indomitable Spirit +1 comes out from Saro. The Courage and the physical damage up. Such a cool unit. If you guys don't know, Maneater does not affect him. He is not considered a human in this game. What is Setia going to do? Does she go for the limit break again? She does. This looks like it hits all 3 this time, whereas last time it only hit 2 units. It did not hit Oberon last time. And it looks like 4K. I apologize. It is getting a little blurry in the video. I'm not entirely sure why it's so blurry, but that's okay. I will... Logi Absorption comes out for 10K. Oh my gosh. Silencing Jump does 3K onto the Mish. So Sasha takes out Mish. A little SR on our rarity combat. Saro doing a decent amount of damage. Magic counter comes out from Luel. Interesting that it misses. Luel is a very accurate unit, or can be built that way anyway. But Oberon's going to come up, fly into the sky. 8 dragon something. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a huge ass limit break. Pops the Courage on Saro. And what is Sosha going to do here? Dragon's Might, CT up, attack up, spirit up, protect, critical hit rate, reaction block rate. Good God, that is a lot of buffs. Those are 6 different things that she just increased. Saro's going to go for the limit break. This is his own version of Omni Slash. What can he do to Luel? Can he get rid of her? Yep, Luel passes out. I can't see the health bars very clearly, but I know she is dying. What can Oberon do here? He walks up Royal Rend. He is able to connect with both units. He was 1 hit from dead, and he is able to hop up on the platform and get the double kill. And Spike avoids the match 3. That was an incredibly close fight. Hats off to Catrah and Spike. A fantastic match. Even though it was only 2 games, those were both down to the wire. Like, they were both literally 1 hit away from going the other way. So GG to both players. I'm excited to watch both of those teams going forward. 3 more series to go. Let's hop into the 3rd one of the day. Okay, guys, matchup number 3 today. We've got MacRain and the Materia Hunters versus JEBAW and the Sappers. JEBAW, a returning player from Season 1. MacRain, a brand new player. And I will say, MacRain is a fantastic player. I know that. He's done very, very well in Friday Night Fights in the past. Belongs to the guild Hydra. That's Dgen's guild. Shout out to Dgen. And honestly, this team just has a lot of power picks. It's not like very elemental focused. He has units in a bunch of different elements. I just think he has a lot of strong individual units that work well on their own. That is not a team that I personally think that I could succeed with, but I know MacRain is a good player. Would not be surprised to see him pull out some crazy stuff with this comp and just some weird combinations that you haven't seen before. On the right side here with JEBAW, I really like the Perrine pick, a brand new unit. I could see her putting in a lot of work. And I will say, he got Victoria, I think, really late in the draft, if I remember this correctly. It was like the 9th or 10th round. That was an absolute steal by him, if you ask me. And honestly, Ravi's at 60 cost, she's a beast of a tank. She's like a UR level tank at 60 cost. So I'm excited to see how both of these teams go against each other. Hoping for 3 games, and let's get into it. All right, guys, it looks like our video is back to being clear. I do apologize for that. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe the recording was just recorded at a low sample rate or something. I'm not entirely sure. But this matchup should be good to go with JEBAW and MacRain. It looks like I saw a Perrine hover and a Glaciella Flagbearer hover. So probably considered the strongest unit in the game in Glaciella versus the newest unit in the game in Perrine. Should be a good matchup. Glaciella getting her AoE buff, and she's got Naya and excuse me, Tario, not McLeod, in the back to back her up. So tank, DPS, healer, very standard comp. JEBAW, he says, screw that. I'm going all offense. I'm going 3 DPS units, baby. 2 spear waifus and a Perrine. I like it. Keenblade coming out from Dario. Gets a slash tech up on the party, which I'm not sure how much that'll go. That'll help anyway. But the CTF is always really, really nice to make sure that your turn can get that second rotation of buffs off before the fight starts. Ramada's going to go Blood Boil. I believe this is Yerma's TMR, so expecting maybe a possible evasion angle or something. But that accuracy goes up a ton when you use that. Re-Ray is going to be on Glaciella, so even if she dies once, she will come back. Dario rocking 11.6k health is a lot. I will say he is a better magic tank than physical, and he's going up against 3 physical units. But we'll see how well he can tank it up. Might help a little bit now that he has a protect from Naya, so. Triple cross coming out. Ramada holds on. Does a good amount of damage, but she does not get one shot, crucially. And what is Perrine going to do? She is going to continue to buff before she walks into the fight. And Victoria, a unit that we saw Surf Taco put in a ton of work with last season. I will say that did not do as much damage as I expected with the elemental advantage, but Glaciella is a beast of a unit. Dario is going to go over, taunting Spellblind, take out the Ramada, and it is an early 3v2 in MacRain's favor here. Triple cross. Speaking of not doing a lot of damage, that did not do a lot of damage. I believe that only did like 1600 after the first hit was blocked by her 100% shield. And Shadow Dance coming up from JEBAW. I will say that ability makes me think it's an evasion ability, and it's not. I think it should probably be renamed to Water Dance or something like that. Wave Dancer, I like that. Anyway, gets the AoE attack off with Victoria, and she's tanking this damage surprisingly well. Obviously, she has the elemental advantage, but both of those hits she took very, very well. And even that, she's still surviving. I mean, Glaciella's a beast of a unit, and she's taken 3 different hits, and she's still holding on. So Naya, I imagine, is going to go for the Curaga Benevolent. Does she even get this ability off, though? Perrine's going to step forward. She will, because she's just going to single target the Dario. Naya's going to heal this up, unless Victoria, she actually goes next. She could get a massive AoE hazard break. So running the soldier sub job, I like it a lot. Not an ability you see from Victoria very often, but probably a good tech in this situation. Arrowblade does just enough to take the kill. Glaciella's going to go next. What kind of damage does this do to Perrine? 2736. Does get the agility down, though. Could matter in terms of CT later on in this fight. I assume she's going to walk up and take out Dario. She does. So it is a 1v1. Does that agility down matter? Who's going to win this 1v1? I will say Perrine has the AP advantage, because Glaciella had to auto attack there. She now has like 34 AP. Subjugating Fist comes down. Unit attack resist down. Glaciella still has re-raise, crucially. So this heal, though, that heal was massive. So basically, Perrine is going to have to hit twice, probably before Glaciella hits twice. Oh, no. She actually doesn't have AP anymore. She's going to go for Odin. This is going to be incredibly close. 2482. That's just not going to be enough. She's going to have 11 AP, and I don't think she has enough to get any ability off. And JEBAW's Perrine's going to auto attack. The re-raise will proc. And I assume Glaciella goes next, but I don't think she's going to have the damage. She does not. 1475, and Perrine tanking this like an absolute monster. And MacRain, a team who was the favorite, or one of the favorites in some of our predictions going into the season, ends up losing match 1 to JEBAW, who was ranked, I think, dead last on our predictions. So props to you, JEBAW, for shutting us the hell up and taking an early win. Congrats to you. Let's see what happens in match 2, and hopefully in match 3. But let's get into it. Okay, guys, match number 2. We've got Summer Elsie coming out from MacRain. So he saw what that team did the first time, and he said, that ain't it. I'm going to my Summer Girl Elserel to see what she can do. I will say Summer Elsie, even at 90 cost, she's still a beast. She puts out a lot of damage. And JEBAW bringing this same team, I think geared more for the physical side, at least defensively. Summer Elsie might be a really nice switch up. And this is Summer Elsie Kane McLeod. This is what I was saying before the battle started. MacRain is a player that I trust to throw 3 rainbow units in together that seemingly have not a ton of synergy and just make them work. I'm excited to see what he does with this. Zombie transformation comes out from Summer Elsie. I imagine this is probably Immortal Spirit. Oh no, it is Keen Blade. Okay. I love the amount of Pierce units in this battle. There are 4 spear users in this battle. It's pretty awesome. Now is the Immortal Spirit. After he uses the Keen Blade, now he pops the Courage. And man, Summer Elsie just gets so tanky with the physical shield, the protect, with Courage, all that good stuff. She's going to be really, really hard to take down, I think, for this other team. So the Dragon's going to go. She's going to get Protect up. That might help versus Kane and McLeod, but it's not going to do anything versus Summer Elsie. McLeod's going to pop bells, get his AP regeneration going. What can Ramada do? Dread Spear dive. 59-16. That is a good chunk of damage. She says, hey, I'm not the only... You're not the only MR Spear unit that can put out the DPS, McLeod. So what does Summer Elsie do? Devitalizing Glint. One-shots the Victoria. This is kind of what I was saying, though. JEBAW's team is, I think, probably better versus physical than Magic. That being said, Kane put out a lot there. 6k damage is nice. What can McLeod do? He has a ton of range on his skills. I imagine can hit from here. He can. Gets the kill on Ramada. And after JEBAW takes match 1, he is up against it here in a 3v1. Marine is the newest unit in the game. How broken is the newest unit? We're about to find out. The Vitalizing Glint comes out. Again, 38-67. Pretty decent damage. Also, I will say, healing power down is pretty massive versus Marine because she has that self-heal. I don't know if she got it off this fight. I don't remember seeing it. But if she does, it's not going to do nearly as much. That right there. 441 it only healed. You guys, when you face these units that have those self-heals, like Snow, like Little Leela, like Perrine, like all those units, healing power down is your friend. It's basically like dealing an extra 6k damage in health. So, wow. Props to MacRain, man. Absolute showing there in match 2. Excited we get another match 3. Thank you, Heindler Division, for coming through for us. We didn't get any in Rundall, and now 2 out of 3 already is 3-match series. So, you love to see it. Let's go ahead and get into match 3 and see if now JEBAW has a response to change his team up going into the final. Okay, guys, match number 3. It doesn't look like JEBAW's changing his team. He says, hey, it's not the units, it might be the placement, or maybe he expected MacRain to switch back to something, expecting JEBAW to switch. There could be a lot of mind games in this. When you play Draft League, man, going into match 3, you just never know what your opponent is going to do. So sometimes you just stick with what you already did in hopes that they switch out of it. So it'll be interesting. JEBAW is changing his position, though. Popping bells on Victoria. So she'll have plenty of AP. She needs to avoid the Summer Elsie. Summer Elsie is the one who can absolutely nuke her. This is a really nice early turn rotation for MacRain. It's better than last time. Gets the Keen Blade on the entire team rather than just Kane and Elsie. And the Zombie Ryryu TMR on Summer Elsie again. Just making her so damn hard to kill. I fight with all my strength. And McLeod is a 60 cost unit, puts out some incredible DPS if he's allowed to hit. So what can Summer Elsie do? Can she get in range to hit one of them? She can. She can hit both of them with the Devitalizing Glint. Oh my goodness. Summer Elsie, the MVP of MacRain's team to this point, one-shots the Victoria through her 100% shield and takes over half the health of Ramada. Dread Spear dive, 5,300 damage, really respectable from Ramada though. Is there any hope here for JEBAW's team? Man, it is not looking like it. It's an early 3v1 again, just like the last match. Unfortunately, even with the position change from JEBAW, he couldn't avoid the Devitalizing Glint onto his Victoria. And gets the healing power down again. Really going to hurt Perrine's sustain. Subjugating Fist, honestly, a decent amount of damage considering all of the physical, like damage reduction that Summer Elsie has on her right now. But the quadruple shot comes out, and Summer Elsie, I think, is probably going to seal this match here. What does she have? She's charging a spell. She's going with the Magic Orb, 4969. And wow, what a performance by MacRain. After losing in that close match 1, he pulls out all the stops and goes with the Kane McLeod Summer Elsie comp and just runs over JEBAW in those last couple matches. Fantastic series to both opponents. In case you guys don't know the rules of the point system, JEBAW does receive 1 point for winning a game, and MacRain receives 3 points for winning the series. So I didn't have to mention that in the Rundle division, but I do have to mention that here. So if you win a game and don't win the series, you do get a point. So it is better than losing 2-0. So every game you win matters in this league. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys. But we are not done yet. We've got 2 more series left to go, and let's hop into that 4th one. All right, guys, matchup number 4. We've got Dr. Dickhead, a returning player from last season, with the new team name Foolish Mortals, versus Xathria and the Ghostbloods, the two kind of dark, kind of edgy themes. Edgy-themed teams of this division. So on Dr. Dickhead's team, he went with the Zazan pick. He had the 2nd pick in the entire draft. He went 20 cost Zazan right out of the gate. We have a 220 cost restriction. Also, you cannot run full mono element, but you can run 2 of the same element. So he was putting all of his chips on the table saying, hey, I'm going to pick Zazan and I'm going hard into the 100 costs to pair with him. So he's got Little Leela the Bold. Dark Fina can mesh very, very well together. He could go a magic comp with Dark Fina Ibarra. He could go a slashing comp with Little Leela getting that slash attack penetration up for her and Astrius. He can do a number of different things with these really strong 100 cost units. And that's not to take away with some of the other units that he has. Lucio's a really strong 80 cost. Murmur's a beast at 40. It's just got a really, really overall solid team. On the right side here with the Ghostbloods has some really cool dark and light combinations. I like having dark and or light on the team in some regard because they're the elements that don't have a necessarily like true counter to them. That being said, he also has Snow, who is a fantastic 90 cost tank, another great tank with the 70 cost Whisper. I like the Shadow Lynx pick. I think she's very strong for 50. I think these are 2 really, really solid teams, and I'm excited to see how they play up against each other. So let's get into it. All right, guys, matchup number 1 between Dr. Dickhead and Xathria here. Dr. Dickhead's going to run those 2 OP Dark units with the Zazan and Rarity unit. Lastwell's going to have his Mirage Shield on, so he will soak basically 1 hit of damage. And Golbez is going to channel his Barrier. His Barrier is very nice at mitigating damage, also gives him basically lifesteal for a period of time. Dark Fina's not going to go for her Rebrace ability. I think she's going to walk up and just deal damage. Is she going to go for a Dystopia here? Dystopia is her main AoE attack, so I assume that's what she's going to go for. She does go for it. Oh my goodness. Gets the chain, gets the stop on Lastwell. And this is not a 3v2, but it's going to feel like it for Xathria for a while here. This could be pretty tricky. Golbez needs to get a bunch of damage here off with this spell that he's channeling, but Shadow in the Moonlight's going to go off. Little Leela's going to attempt to blind them. Does she hit it? She does on both, so no blind resist and stop resist on Xathria's team means status effects are going to eat him alive in these early turns. Shadow Flare comes out from Dark Fina. And this double 100 cost team from Dr. Dickhead is looking really, really strong right now. But what does Golbez have in store? Meteor comes out, 37-39, not quite enough to take out Dark Fina. That could have been really big for them. Murderous Blade's going to take out the back line. Zazan says, hey, dude, I can walk or jump across the entire map in 1 step if you want. What does Golbez have? Black Fang, 79-20 is going to heal him up for a decent amount of damage. Can he survive this hit from Little Leela? That is a big old fat no. He cannot survive that hit. I will say that fight looked very one-sided. If Dark Fina doesn't hit that stop right at the beginning of the match, maybe that doesn't look that way, because Dark Fina probably dives a lot sooner because Lastwell could have hit her with an attack. She didn't have a re-raise online. Very curious to see, does Ghostbloods run with the exact same comp and just change up the positioning, or does he decide to go away from it completely? I feel like he didn't get an opportunity to actually have his team come online there, and positioning might be able to change that enough for maybe he can turn that fight in his favor. So I don't know. Dr. Dickhead's team looked very, very strong there. Let's check out match 2 and see if Xathria has an answer for him. All right, we've got matchup number 2 coming up here. Dr. Dickhead is now on the right side of the screen, not to confuse you guys. On the left side, we've got Whisper. It's the same team. Whisper, Golbez, Lastwell. So the same 3 units. Xathria decides, he says, you know what? It's all about the positioning. And one thing I will say is he is on the opposite side of the map this time. He should be able to get his buffs off. Lastwell should hopefully be able to do something in this fight instead of instantly becoming stopped. Does this change things? Let's go and find out. Divine Shelter comes out from Whisper, a really nice buff. Gives her Protect, Shell, Regen, just a lot of really good stuff. Golbez gets that barrier. However, I will say Golbez is stronger in the early turns of a fight. So Dr. Dickhead is probably honestly fine kind of waiting some of this out. So Dark Fiend is going to channel a spell.
What to do?
Gonna go Curse of the Serpent with the re-raise.
Be more careful.
I'm not sure what all status effects that nullified. I was watching some of it, but I didn't catch every single one of them. I wonder if Stop or Blind is nullified by that buff, because those are the crucial status effects. Whisper's gonna walk up, Protection Break. Really solid damage, honestly, from the tank. I know that's on Zazan, so it's whatever, but even against Dark Phoenix, she did 4k last fight. And she soaked the damage from Little Leela pretty well, too. Kama comes down, only 200. Whisper for a 70 cost tank is very, very effective, in my opinion. Last one's going to jump up in the air. This has got to be a horizontal jump, I assume, because this has a huge range on whatever he's jumping here. Can Golbez get a massive AoE? He's going to limit break the entire team. The Void Meteor comes out. An ability you do not get to see very often. It looks sick. What does it actually do? Damage caps on the Zazan, but all that AoE resist from Dark Fina says she just kind of shakes it off. Did an okay amount to Little Leela, but Graceful Undoing going to do a lot. Take out the tank. It is now a 2v2. I don't know, man. I think I give the edge to the two 100 costers. Sorcery Strike comes out, takes out the Golbez, and is now a 1v2 for Lastwell. What can he do? Dark Fina is weak to pierce damage, I believe. Little Leela might be too. That was good damage. It's now a 1v1. Can he somehow pull this off against the 100 cost unit? Queen's Judgment going to come out from Dark Fina. Missed one of the attacks. So there is some evasion here with Lastwell. That means this fight is not over. Could he kill her here? He's only got 21 AP. 5,200 damage, though. She still has re-raise, but if he can dodge some attacks, he's got a shot here. He didn't dodge that. He took 9,700 damage. Dr. Dickhead gets the convincing 2-0 win. I say convincing. Honestly, that match was very, very close, to be honest. 3-2, and honestly, if he dodged like one more hit, maybe that goes the other way. So honestly, a good series overall. Props to Xathria. That first match was kind of rough, but I think he responded fairly well in the second one, even though he didn't get the win. I'm excited to see how his team looks throughout the season. And for Dr. Dickhead, fantastic job. Really putting in that work, showing like, hey, Zazan early with a couple of 100 costers can be a really, really strong strategy in this format. Excited to see and curious to see how it works out in the rest of the season. But don't go anywhere, you guys, because we have one more series to go. I hope it's a banger. Let's get into it. All right, guys, we ended the Rundle division with 2 brand new players. We're doing the exact same thing for the Heindler division. Give some of these new players their time to shine. On the left side here, we've got Maverick, another Friday Night Fights player. Fun fact, in his first ever top 8 victory where he won the entire thing, he actually beat me in that top 8 tournament. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I do. I remember that matchup. He ended up charming me with the Sodali and winning in that. He's a great player. That is what I will say. He's a really, really great player. So much respect over to Maverick. Ram9, I have not seen him battle, but I know he's been a big fan of Friday Night Fights for a while. He wanted to hop in Season 1. Unfortunately, didn't make that list of first 10 players, but he is here to make a statement. He's got a hell of a team, so I'm really, really excited for this series that we've got here. On Maverick's side, he has the Velis. That was his first overall pick, I believe. Velis not getting a ton of play last season when Turambar picked him first overall. However, I think that was just because Turambar's team was so damn stacked. I could still see Velis being effective here with some haste, with some damage. and just being an overall solid unit. Skahal is an absolute beast at 90 cost. King Mont's a great tank at 90. Honestly, like, Maverick just picked a bunch of units that are really good for their cost. Like, that's what I see in this draft. Gargus is great at 70. Agrius, great at 80. Winter Ravi's amazing at 70. And that's just pretty much his whole team. Like, his whole team is like that, just straight value. On the right side, more elemental themed coming out from the Rock Boys. He's got ice, he's got water, he's got earth, he's got that cold triangle that counters his elemental counters. And what I will say is he has one of the scariest teams in the entire league, and he was number 1 on my prediction rankings going into the season, mainly because of this Eliza comp that can go with any one of these 3 30 cost units that he has here. So my personal opinion, I think his team looks really, really strong. Curious to see if it actually puts in the work this series and makes me look smart or makes me look dumb. Let's go and find out. But I'm excited for this, man. This is our final series of week 1 WDL. Let's get into it. All right, guys. Matchup number 1 between Maverick and Ram9. This should be an interesting one. 4,000 magic stat coming out from Maverick's side. So I'm curious to see what he's running. I expect he's probably bringing Skahal as well. Not sure who else fits in this comp here. On the right side with Ram9, we've got Miranda hovering 2,600 magic. He does have some really strong like 70 and 80 cost units. So is he just going to go triple UR? Let's go ahead and find out. So match 1 kicks off. Maverick running the Gargus, Skahal, Salir team. So triple mage. And I will say this is lightning and wind. I didn't even think about this, but he could run Dark Ramu. And that magic stat can go through the roof with these 3 units. Salir can be kind of supportive with White Mage. Skahal can support with Time Mage. And all 3 of these units can hit like a truck. So full offense from Maverick's side here. Very curious to see how this goes. So Ram9 not busting out his ice element missile units. Going for the triple UR setup. Miranda, Ketone, and Kilfei. So the wind will be good against the lightning. Not so much against Gargus. Magic Barrier going to come out from Kilfei. And Salir's going to channel Protect onto Skahal. Miranda going to channel Haste, so another Time Mage on that side of the map as well. And what has Hasted Ketone got for us? Debilitator, I will say, 3k, not as much as I expected going onto the Skahal with the elemental advantage. However, can Skahal even hit her? Because she is pretty evasive. Skahal does not have the best accuracy in the game. He does have Energy Buster as a guaranteed hit, but that's only if you're running Staff Mage sub. So is he running Time Mage or... Oh, he's running Toad. Oh my god. We have Key Toad on the field. We have a hasted Key Toad on the field. You thought that Toad Lena joke or whatever I said was gone. It's not. Key Toad is back in action. She's hasted up. This frog is jumping over the map. Debilitating counter goes and misses, and Key Toad bops him in the face for 1,600 damage. This Toad is just beating Skahal's ass. Oh my goodness. The Holy comes out from Salir. That's going to do a lot of damage. Going to proc the Courage. And what does Gargus have in store for us? Does have the elemental advantage against Kilfei. Dispelling Thrust comes out from Miranda. I do apologize about the blurriness on the video, but I'm going to keep shoutcasting. Divine Thunder Summon coming up from Skahal. Pops the Limit Break. It looks super badass. It doesn't do as much damage as Thundaga Disposer, but it looks cool as hell. And it will help against the barrier. Whenever somebody has a magic barrier, Skahal will go for the Limit Break. Debilitating counter again. Still misses. And Key Toad takes out Skahal. He does have re-raise, so he's technically not dead. But oh my god, this Toad version of Key Toad is still just beating Skahal's ass. I love Skahal so much, but this is hilarious to me. Flare goes off. Gargus takes out the Kilfei. And oh my goodness, Unavailable Pain comes out from Gargus. 12k damage. The Toad is back from the grave. We learned this mechanic, I believe, in Series 1 today, that Toads, when they die, come back still as Toads. I don't understand why that's a thing, but that is apparently a thing. Hasted up Miranda's going to walk up. Dispelling Thrust going to take out the Skahal. So it is now 2-on-2. Holy going to come out, though. I assume this is going to take Key Toad out for good. Key Toad has croaked. I just came up with that joke right now. You can go ahead and boo me in the comments. I don't care. Dispelling Thrust goes off for 3k damage. Gargus is going to channel his spell. What has he got? And Salir's going to channel something too. Can Miranda live this? A flare? 7,600 damage. That is a ton. Holy is going to go off as well. Again, I apologize for the blurriness, but this damage, or this battle, is an absolute banger. Maverick pulls out the match 1 victory. That was an awesome match. I'm not gonna lie, I was like cracking up about the fact that this Toad is hasted up and just like beating on Skahal. Skahal can't do anything about it, and this Frog is just, oh my goodness. I don't care, man. That match 1 was absolutely fantastic. I really hope we get a 3-game series here. Can Ram9 bring it back? I was singing the praises of his team. Like to see what he brings out for match 2. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, matchup number 2. We've got Severo showing on Ram9's side. This 30 cost unit makes me think that we are probably seeing the Ice Girls, the Ice Missile Girls coming up from Ram9, excuse me. And the same comp probably coming out from Maverick. Let's go ahead and see what happens. So in our last series of the day, hopefully not the last match of the day, can Ram9 bring it to a game 3?
Can I go ahead?
This mage comp from Maverick looked pretty good last time. That Toad putting in a lot of work. Zombie transformation going to come out from Skahal. New Skahal is so insane. I always thought this unit was kind of slept on, but now he is not slept on because he's played everywhere because he's actually just bananas broken. He basically has permanent courage if you're allowed to heal him up to full. And having zombie re-raise is so helpful, especially when you have somebody like Slayer in the back who could potentially heal him. That being said, Eliza is going to get that AoE buff up, buff that missile damage for her and for Eliza. And what does Severo have for us? His job level 25 skill puts haste on himself, courage on himself, and gives him ability activation time down. So it is a skill that's extremely important for him to get on himself because he does not have very high agility. So I assume that is what he is channeling now. However, it looks like on the left side of the bar here, Gargus's spell is going to go off before his. Is he just going to straight up die before he gets the spell off? So Lear's going to channel Protect on to Gargus. Arrowgut Disposer, 5k damage, not enough to take out Severo. I will say the only resistance that Severo has that is decent is magic resist. So I guess not shocking that he lives that. But he does have his haste online. The beautiful thing here for Ram9, as the Sharpshoot does 8k damage and takes Salir out. Holy moly. The beautiful thing for Ram9 here is that Severo, with his courage, he has more than 1 health. That ability just basically bought him another turn. And now the team is going to try and kill Severo, and that is not where you want to direct your attention. The bravery down isn't going to make the most massive difference here, as Maverick's team is all magic. However, they're just wasting the other team's time, which is very, very important for these 2 missile units. If you are running a missile comp, if your 3rd unit can just be a tie-up unit, Severo did that effectively. Took 3 hits. So what can these 2 missile units do? They're going right back to back on each other. Eliza can do a ton of damage. 5802. I believe proc the courage from Skahal. Elia should take her out. No, Elia's actually going to go for the Gargus instead. I think that's a mistake. Skahal's going to go next. Can he get in range for a Thundergut Disposer? Oh my god, he is. This could one-shot both of them. And one-shot Eliza. I don't know whether that would have one-shot Elia, and I don't know if she had like re-raise on her. I don't think she did. But Thundergut Disposer hits really friggin' hard. There's a chance that reflex saved him. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to say that it was the difference. I don't know the calc off the top of my head, but I'm not too mad because it brings us to a game 3, and I'm excited to get to a 3rd match. So, hey, we are closing this week off with an absolute banger of a series. We're going into the 3rd match with these 2 brand new players to our league. Give it up for them, and let's get into it. All right, guys, the final matchup of this series, we have Miranda showing up on the right side. It looks like Maverick is staying with the exact same team. I think he thinks he would have won without the reflex, so he's just sticking with it. That being said, Ram9 is switching back to something kind of similar. However, that is a Fryevia I spy instead of Ketone. So it is Miranda, Fryevia, Kilfei. And I will say Fryevia could be a pretty effective tank here as like a magic tank against these guys. Taunting spell going to go out though. Kilfei's now going to have hate. I wonder if that's what Ram9 wants, but Dispelling Threat's going to go immediately. Salir is dead right out of the gate. This is the 3v2 in Ram9's favor.
Let the bout begin.
And what does she have? Spellbow Blade. My goodness, Fryevia did 5k to Skahal. For a tank, that was a shitload of damage. Flare's going to come out onto the Kilfei. This probably nukes. Yeah, 9,600 damage is going to take her out. It is now a 2v2. Thundergut Disposer. This is going to murder Miranda. She is gone out of the face of this earth. Yeah, damage cap numbers, 11,999. Fryevia, can you win a 2v1? She's channeling a spell. This is probably full life. Who gets their spell off first? It's going to be Gargus. Does the flare kill? This could be pretty massive if it's not enough. Yeah, 2,000 damage, full life. Who is she healing? It's going to be Kill Faye. It does go through. What can Freyevia do here? Spellveil Blade. I apologize for the blurriness again, but she goes and gets the double kill. Skahal has re-raise. Is Kill Faye going next? I believe she is. Does she need to channel anything, or can she walk up in one shot? Debilitating counter. 3,300. It's not going to matter. Earth Staff's going to go off. Skahal is going to drop. And that is a victory for the Rock Boys and Ram 9. Hats off to Ram 9. Great series for both of these players. Honestly, that was just a really, really entertaining series. I'm glad we ended with that one. That was a really, really good one. And thank you so much to all the players this week. I had a blast casting these and a blast watching these games. I'm excited for 8 more weeks of this, so it should be a really good time. That being said, let's go take a look at the standings at the end of week 1. All right, guys, so for the end of week 1 of the Heindler division, these are our standings as they sit. So we have a 5-way tie for first. That was always going to be the case. You can't have a tie in War Division. So, well, technically, I think you can have a draw. I don't know. It's really weird. Anyway, we can't have a tie in this series. So somebody's going to come out the winner. There were 5 different series, and the 5 winners that we have that won their series were Dr. Dickhead and the Foolish Mortals, Spike and Bebop's crew, MacRain and the Materia Hunters, Ram 9 and the Rock Boys, and Turambar and the Fire Ferrets. They are technically all tied for first. If you want to get really, really specific about tiebreakers, your total game win-loss could come into effect at the very, very end of the season, but honestly, it's not very likely. That being said, Dr. Dickhead and Spike would have the advantage there as they won their series 2-0, but for the most part, they're all tied with 3 points apiece. Now, 3-way tie for 6 between JEBAW, Maverick, and Jesus, the Sappers, Spaghetti Western, and Strawhats. They all won a match in their series, but did not take the series, so they all are sitting with 1 point and 1 in the mitigated loss column. Now, there is a 2-way tie for last, obviously, with Xathria and Catrah. Both really, really well-fought matches, to be honest, but unfortunately, they couldn't pick up a win, so they are still sitting with 0 points. There are 8 more weeks left in the regular season, so there's tons and tons of time for all of these players to move up and down. Like I said, last season, multiple people who lost week 1 still made the playoffs. This is such a small blip on the part of our season, but it's an interesting place to start. So that being said, I did not make full-on graphics for the kill leaders and stuff like that with our 2 divisions, with our Rundal division and our Heindler division. I didn't have time, but they are coming. And I promise you for week 2 and on, from there, I will have graphics ready for you guys for the kill leaders and other stats that we can keep track of and different things like that. I will say, and if you have not watched the Rundal videos, please stop listening right now, but I will tell you who the current kill leader is. And the current kill leader for the Rundal division is Machen X's Aliyah Rundal, currently with 6 kills, and there's a 2-way tie for second with my Little Leela the Bold and Glaciella Wazette of Mr. Aloha. Both had 5 kills. For the Heindler division, the kill leader sitting solely on top is the Fire Ferrets Turambar's Halloween Lucia. So even though he went to 3 games, so it's kind of cheating a little bit, but he got 5 kills with Halloween Lucia. So that is the kill leader currently as it sits for this division. And like I said, I will come out with more graphics going on in future weeks. I can promise you that. It's been a very, very busy week. I said it in the other division video, but I had to recreate all of my graphics from my matchup previews because I lost my Photoshop file for my original one. So that took a good chunk of time. That being said, now that I've got everything created, I'm working a lot smarter this season than I did last season, and all of the graphics that I have are much, much, much more editable. And it may not seem like anything from people to the outside, but if you've ever worked in Photoshop with your specific layers and how you form everything, if you work smarter and not harder, it can make things really, really easy in the future if you need to adjust stuff. So anyway, that stuff doesn't matter, but I'm excited. I'm excited for this season for both divisions. You can expect, unless I mention it, every Tuesday, 6 a.m., one of the divisions will have their weekly video come out. 6 a.m. Central Time, excuse me. And the other division will be 6 a.m. Central Time Wednesday morning. And that will be every single week for regular season. Aside from week 4, I will be going on vacation, and week 4 is going to look different. I will speak to you guys about that probably in the week 3 video. But yeah, I'm excited for this season. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Tell me who you think is going to win this season, who you think is going to suck this season. Say, hey, Kason, your team sucks. I don't know. Say whatever the hell you want. But thank you so much for supporting the videos. I really do appreciate it. This is some of the most fun stuff that I've ever done, and this is probably my most proud creation that I've ever done. So anyway, I'm excited. Hats off to all the players and all the new players in our league, and we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful day.